Well, hello there. How are you all doing? You having fun? I hope so. You know, I've been wondering for ages why hadn't the little microphone been picking up my voice properly. And in the settings today, I realised that I was using the wrong microphone. It was using the microphone on my little side camera that I use for kind of like taking close-up shots of the board. So that was one of the reasons why it wasn't reacting properly. So there we go. That was something to discover. And we had a little play around. It was a pretty little tentacly, squiggly thing around the thing to make it look a bit more, exciting. So at the end of the last episode, we had kind of been on our way to school. Kind of Sarla had been at school, college even. She'd been at college, been chilling, art class. Everything was going great, and then there were explosions and planes falling out of the sky, and giant monsters eating students. And her and two of her friends, Tommy and Steve, was it? Let's have a quick check. Tommy and Steve, I think it was Tommy and something or other. Yeah, Tommy and Steve, I remembered. Had legged it, first of all, back to Tommy's house, where they'd checked for TV, checked the internet, seen that this is happening across London, and currently people were kind of reporting on it just being disturbances and terrorist attacks, while, of course, on the internet there's kind of like streams of comments saying that clearly wasn't. And Sarla, during this course, had discovered that she has these amazing supernatural powers that have come out of nowhere. The other two don't, and they kind of had a little rest at Tommy's house, and then proceeded to go to Steve's house, where his dad was kind of sat down watching GB News. The only GB News and BBC News being the only news left in the dystopia of Britain in 2030 something. So yeah, and the dad was fine. Outside of the place, they'd encountered a green slimy ooze monster, which Sarla managed to dispatch with reasonable ease because she kind of detected it early. Now, this comes onto one of those cool little things in Daggerheart that I've been thinking about, and we're gonna utilize a bit of today. Because if we go to environments, right? And this is something that I was thinking about earlier. Environments, basically, I think the most important thing is the difficulty numbers, the potential adversaries, and then features that can be triggered if rolls fail, if there are rolls with consequence, or there are rolls with fear, or failed rolls, right? So, like, the difficulty tells you how hard it is to get across a territory, and then this tells us what might happen in that territory if we fail. So that's cool. So if we imagine, right, the next couple of things we're going to be doing for Sarla is she's going to be going to her house, her apartment, or her mum's apartment. Okay, she lives with her mum and her brother in a apartment building, kind of like a probably a recent build, kind of 10, 15 years old, constructed to keep kind of like low-income housing all in one place. And that building, so there's kind of like at least two areas that we can imagine there, right? And we're kind of prepping ourselves for what's going to happen next, right? So we've got the streets. And I've been having a look at the various monsters that might be interesting to have out here. Broadly, there are zombies and skeletons that we can reskin. Bunch of solo, in inverted commas, monsters, and then giant mosquitoes. One of the things that I was thinking about some kind of puppeteer, but maybe we could use like a minor demon or a chaos elemental as a puppeteer. So, the streets, not the band, the location. So we'd have difficulty 14 to get across. What do we call them? What's it called? Impulses. Impulses to connect places. What other? To connect places. I mean, that's what the streets are for, right? Chaotic streets, right? Chaotic streets. So yeah, their objective really is to connect places, and that's both for players, well, for characters, for citizens, and for the various monsters for the stalking the streets, right? And then we could come up with some ways to spend fear on the fly. I think like the main things are like being stalked by monsters. People need help, and road traffic accident / collapsed building force, and so that will block the road, right? So we need to go for a different route. So that's one thing. And the other thing is the apartment block, right? Our objective will be to not... very funny. Okay, yeah, we'll call it flats, because we're in England. Block of flats. Flat block, which is block of flats. And here, difficulty to traverse, again, 14. Stairwells, broken lift. We don't have external fire escapes on most of our buildings in the UK, and it's going to be quite high, so cries for help, right? So those are some things that can happen inside of a block of flats if she doesn't manage to move. And I was listening to Pointy Hat talking about scenes, which of course reminded me about how in writing every sentence should take you forward a bit in the story, and the scenes are at +1, right? So the scene should move the narrative forward in a substantial enough way, and this kind of PBTA style move scene system works quite well with that, right? Because if you get a successful move, it's just kind of like a montage. You get from point A to point B, not a problem. If something happens, then something happens, and then you reach where you want to go. Well, you don't, right? If, say, for instance, the roads are blocked, then we're going to have to go we'll have to detour, right? And see if that happens. So, yeah. Anyway, that's some thinking. Lucky I turned gestures off on my computer. Otherwise, doing that with the little window would have caused no end of problems. Right. So we're in we're in Steve's house with his old man, and he's not very interesting. So, my favourite word. We're going to roll. I think now it's probably mid-afternoon. They've been moving pretty quickly. They had an hour's break. How is she looking? She's taken... Let's have a look here. Yeah. She's taken 1 hit point worth of damage, 2 points of stress, and she's got all of her hit points. No, all of her armor slots. So 2 out of 7 is her stress. 3 out of 6? What's that supposed to be? Oh, right, hope. Right, yeah, we've got 3 points of hope. So, I think she is going to tell the others, and yeah, we got 2. So we need to burn a point of stress to reactivate our Unleash Chaos. So I think we're going to do that. And of course, that didn't work properly because it's broken. So that should go up to 3. Sure. So stress is 3. Hit points, she's lost 1. And she has a fast staff, and she's got a dagger. Well, a knife. Get in trouble having a knife in London, but that gives her 2 tokens again on this. So, let's go back out there. So she's going to try and sneak to her mum's, which is across town. Well, yeah, some way away. And so she's going to use her urban survival experience. So we're going to burn a point of hope. And that worked, so that's good. She's going to burn a point of hope. So she can add 2 to her roll. Can we just activate it? I don't think we can. No. Okay. So that adds 2 to her roll. And we're rolling on, because we're sneaking, finesse. It could be instinct. Because finesse is hide. Instinct is navigate. Yeah, instinct. So we can roll that. And we add another 2 to it because she's burnt a hope point. And let's see if we can get across town. Let's see how this goes. Roll. Sounds good to me. So it's successful, but with fear. So she's made it across town because the thing that we want to achieve is achieved. Do we want to bank that fear point, or do we want to spend it? I think that we will spend it, but the way we're going to spend it is... save you a second. Is by... And I don't have any clocks, which is kind of annoying, but hey. And we don't need to see that. Thank you very much. No, we don't have any clocks. Although, possibly because we are a layer up, we can go like so. Yeah, and then we can go... Can we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's the worst set of clocks. It's the worst set of lines you've ever seen, isn't it? Okay, let's try it again. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Alright, so what's happened here is being stalked, right? Okay, we can go like that. So, ref is like, yeah, something is... As you're moving through the city, we can... Sarla kind of senses that something is... occasionally sees like a kind of movement from the kind of like the ceiling, from the roofs of the nearby terraces. And she can detect that there is something after her. So, here's the question, right? Is this for getting away, or is this for... I think maybe if we make 2 clocks, right? Clunk. Yeah. Copy, paste. Let's get you. Thank you very much. Yeah. And bring this over here. And let's change the colour of it. Let's make it red. There we go. Red. And then we don't need this being stalked down here. So the one on the left is bad stuff. The one on the right is evading stuff. So we are going to try... She needs to try and evade this thing. And let's find a beastie that makes sense for the stalking. Now, none of the ones that I've picked so far probably make a huge amount of sense. So if we go back to the lists of level 1 adversaries, tier 1 adversaries even. What have we got? Harrier, a nimble fighter armed with javelins. Not so much. Icaries? I don't know what those are. Oh, right, this is some kind of giant creature. Jagged knife. I believe that these are probably some kind of... There we go. Jagged knife shadow. Skulk. A nimble scoundrel bearing a wicked knife. So we could probably use this as a beastie. Threshold 4-8, so it can't take much damage. Hit points free, stress free. It doesn't feel very threatening. Why would she be running from it? She could just turn around. Oh, I know what it'll end up being, right? Do I? I think so. We could just make it one of those. I think it makes sense if we use... Let's go back here, right? The acid burrower. Horse-sized insect with digging claws. Open sheet. Yeah. Okay. Let me double check to see. Of course, I've been going through that and you're not able to see it, are you? No. This we go. Here we go. Seen one before. Now we're going to see one again. So one of these is following us. An acid burrower. Although she's not entirely sure about it. Also, something that's like an acid burrower. So, the first thing that she's going to do in order to try and get away, and hold on, what's the difficulty on the acid? 14. So it's pretty hard to trick, pretty hard to get away from. She is going to, first off, utilize her illusion. I think that would make a lot of sense. It's probably one good way to try and throw off the beastie. So minor illusion requires a spell casting roll to do. So we're going to make a spell casting roll. Right. No, I was expecting you to roll it, but we remember we click on the little spell casting roll thingy here. So she's got neither advantage nor disadvantage. 12, so she succeeded, but with fear. So I think that means that if we get this, there we go, free hand. It yoink, yoink, yoink. Yeah, really good. That is. Is there a fill bucket? No, of course there isn't. So it progresses, and she progresses. When it fills up, it'll know where she is and go to eat her. So it hasn't like completely found her, but now it's seen this version of her legging it, and it's going to start to stalk about. It kind of gets on its creepy little tippy-toey legs and heads down into the streets. And she's going to try and hide and move through the shadows, right? That's what she's going to try and do. And it is, of course, going to try and look for her. So I think it probably gets a go, because also she got a failure. So, for that, we roll a d20 and we add to it its... no, we don't add anything to it, right? We roll a d20. Do we add its attack number? I think we probably do. For it to do a thing. It would make sense. Against... What would it be up against? Let's have a look. Let's double check here. So her evasion... well... No, I think the way that we do it is that she continues to... No, let's... What I did notice last time is that they've got action. They've got one-page cheat sheets. So, pick a character trait, decide on a difficulty, establish the stakes of a role with the player, assign the advantage or disadvantage of if applicable, tell the player to roll duality dice. So that's if they need to roll dice. It doesn't actually have on here if the referee needs to roll dice, which is probably something that the referee needs to know. Action roll results. I tell you what, today is quite warm as well, so I am uncomfortable in my sitting around being a bum phase. I mean, remember, this of course is so that we can learn some of this stuff. So there we go again. Running an adventure, adversaries and thingamajigs, campaign frames, playing an adventure, equipment, primary, secondary abilities, full example of play. Let's go here. GM core, GM mechanics, GM's die. Okay, here we go. Calculate roll. We're not doing an attack. Calling for an action roll. Making moves. When to make it. Okay, right. So no, we don't bother to roll unless it's an attack roll. We only bother to roll for attack rolls. Cool. Cool. So let's do that. Let's go back here. We want to go... Yeah, so she's going to try and hide. If she fails, the creature will see her, and its progress will track will move forward. Otherwise, hers does. Come on, Sarla, you can do it. Oh, actually, we're probably not using that one. We should actually be rolling finesse. Do we want to spend another hope point and use urban survival to hide? Oh, also, what's her low background to give us? Scoundrel. You have an advantage on roles negotiating with criminals, detecting lies, or finding a safe place. Okay, so she rolls with advantage, which is good. So that's good. We like that. The illusion is activated, which is cool. Because we're also going to say have like the illusion is trying to make a distraction, and yeah, so that's what she's going to do. She's not going to spend a hope point to utilize her urban survival. I think we're good. Come on. Okay, so we rolled with hope. Winner, chicken dinner, and we got a total of 18. Cool, super cool. So that's more than its thingy. So that's good, and we succeeded with hope. So we get a point of hope. Woohoo! And we do two squares, 2 triangles, 2 chunks of pizza. Oh yes. So she's managed to kind of get into the shadows and is maneuvering away from this location, right? And the beast is kind of saw the shadow disappear into a hedge, and it's leapt into the bush, and it's like grrr, acid kind of dripping everywhere, and there is no Sarla in there. So let's deactivate that illusion. So that's deactivated. Now, what's she going to try and do? In order to kind of continue getting away, I think she's going to try and... Only 0 on this, but yeah, she's going to try and leg it, right? So, yeah, she's going to try and run away. And I don't think that the scoundrel will help here. Is she going to try and run away, or is she going to try and be really, really quiet? I think she's going to try and be really quiet. Charm, deceive. So, trying to be... I'm actually going to stay in the finesse category, but it does give me that she gets advantage. I feel bad using the same thing over and over again, so we're not going to do that. Because she's managed to hide, it's been a couple of minutes, it's kind of stalking around. She's now going to try and move away. I'm going to go right. First idea, she's going to try and move away, which means she's going to need to make an agility roll. I think we are going to use the urban survival, a bit of the old parkour, a bit of knowing the back alleys. So she's going to scoot into like the gardens of the area and try and get away. 8. Not, oh, but it's a double. And a double is a critical success. So, that's gone really well. She gets a point of hope back. She gets a point of stress back. And this isn't going to work. Of course it's not going to work. So, we need to go over here to her character sheet. No, we don't. We need... Oh, shit. That's why. I was drawing dots all over her. Sorry, Sarla. Right, we go back to a character sheet. This has gone down to 2 because we've got a critical success. And it's kind of annoying when you double click on the token, it doesn't open up the character sheet like it does in an infinitely better tabletop. Foundry. Yes, I am biased. I like Foundry a lot. I don't like Roll20. Particularly don't like it when it's got really rubbish integration that I paid £30 for. It's like the sheet's nice, but the integration is not. Okay, good. So we did that, and we got a critical success. So that's 3 chunks on the thing. So it is thoroughly distracted by what's going on over in that hedge, and she manages to jump over the back of a hedge and through some back gardens and transitions herself outside of the apartment block. This apartment block's probably about 20 floors. Her mum is on like the 9th floor, or the apartment is on the 9th floor. And well, the question is, right, who's going to be there? Well, that's her plan to start with. She's going to go back to get up this house, get up this house, and the way she's going to do it is she's going to go for the stairs, right? That's she can't use the lift. She can try the lift, right? We give it a difficulty 14. Let's see what happens. Let's go, Sarla. Try and navigate this building. Yep, roll. 6 and a 9. Goodness. So it's another success with fear. Interesting. She gets about, so she goes for the lifts because she doesn't think about it very much. And she's in a rush. She's worried. She kind of goes through the front of the lobby. The lobby's all smashed up. There's blood smeared across a wall. Heads into the lift. Lift door starts to close, and she sees this kind of wall of blades heading towards her. And it's this kind of tall-ish creature with blades coming off of all of the places, and it's kind of rushing towards the lift door as the lift door closes. and it starts to head up. And the little dinging thing is like first floor, second floor, third floor, etc., etc., etc. So at 8th floor when it stops. She kind of hammers a button and nothing happens. And the door opens. Then it's opened up onto the 8th floor. And on the 8th floor, she can hear the sounds of kind of screaming and kind of keep away, help, someone please help, in one of the doors. And she can see the stairwell door towards the back, but she decides she's got this newfound ability. She knows the woman on this floor and her kids, and she's like, she's got to do something. So she's going to do something. She heads into a room, and in the room there are going to be, we need something extra to kind of track some of this, right? In the room there are going to be just these kind of animated, bloody, pussy, kind of clawy monstrosities, right? Let's get to the right location. So we want to open up monsters, and we need to populate some sheets is what we need. So we're going to be using not this page, not this page, not this page, but, oh, there's only, okay, yep. We will be using tiny, no, not that. We don't want to be using any of these. Okay, yeah, okay. We're going to have one of these. That's pretty tough. Too many arms. So open a sheet for that. Don't worry, you'll see it in a second, I promise. I promise. I'm not holding out on you. You'll see it in a second. You, by the end of this, are going to wish as much as I do that they would just hurry up and finish the integration for this thing that they promised. That would be great. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's open that. So we've got this kind of monstrous pack of kind of claw wielding monstrosities. We've got the woman, Lisa, holding her kid, and she's kind of got the table, and is kind of pushing these things away with the table, and they're kind of grrr, she's probably in like one of the smaller rooms, so we can kind of see her. We can see the table. We can see her stood behind it, trying to keep like these things away. And there's I think, how many is it per thingy, per point? Consumes flesh. Features 1d4 plus 2 when the horde is half marked off. Overwhelming. There's supposed to be another number on here which says how many die with each thingy. Maybe it's only on the details page, because they've not finished this yet despite selling it. Let's see. It's not very quick either, is it? Yeah, okay, right. So 2 per hit point. Right. That should be on here, but it's not. So that's annoying. So at the moment, how many hit points has it got? It's got 6, so there are 12 of these monsters in here. A bunch of them are just like smashing up the place. And also, yeah, kind of stood back, kind of looking pleased with itself, is this monstrous gestalt of bodies. Right? They look like people have been merged into this one kind of towering, monstrous, hellish representation of everything that's going wrong. And she's suitably upset. She's like, Lisa, you okay? Keep him away. And the woman's like, God, is that Sarla? Quick, run. There's nothing you could do. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she's kind of having a breakdown, as you would, you know. And Sarla's like, don't worry, I'm going to do something. So, here we go. Once again, into the breach. With the lack of tools. Because I can't get my head around the fact that they haven't included the tools. Right, so we're going to say, and let's get her, get us properly in the picture. There we go. So if we think we've got the room, kind of the kitchen where Lisa is. This room is full of like bits and pieces. We could say that there's probably the loos off the back here, a bathroom, and then the bedroom here, right? And then the corridor is here. Yoink. Yoink. And everything in here is either kind of close, far, or probably very close, and then if they're in the other rooms, they're far, right? Cool. Top. Right. Let's get to it then. So Sarla is going to open up, I think, by trying to cull the horde, which is attacking the door with Lisa in and her screaming baby. Screaming Lisa and screaming baby. So what she's going to do, of course, is can spend 3 hope and reroll any dice. She's going to spend 2 of her tokens here. I do think it's kind of harsh that you need to make the spellcasting roll first. On a success, because what happens on a failure, right? I mean, you don't get the damage at all, which that's probably the only thing that I don't like. So we roll that. We got a good number though, and it was with hope. So success. She gains a point of hope. It's a success with hope, so she gets to go again, and she does damage, right? Because the zombie pack... Have I currently got the zombie pack turned on? I do, don't I? Yeah, I do. Good. Even though it covers part of the screen. Can we see it now? How's that looking? Okay, that's a bit better. There we go. Because, of course, it isn't laid out like that on my screen because it's not integrated properly. She does 2d10 worth of magical damage. Roll. And of course, I can't see the box now with the thing in 8 points of damage. So its threshold is 6. So that's 2 points of damage. So the 4 zombies next to the door kind of explode with, not monstrosities, these kind of fleshy monstrosities that look like they're the amalgamation of the building's residents kind of routine, right? They explode, right? And 4 of them kind of lightning arcs between them. Wicked. So Sarla turns and uses a dual staff to zap another one that's nearby. Right. That's not how we do it. Instinct +2. So we roll that. That was a roll with fear, but it's a hit. So she hits, and she then rolls with damage. Yeah. 2 plus 3 is 5, which is less than its minimum threshold, so it does 1 more point of damage. Another 2 of them kind of get zapped, heads explode, gore everywhere. But it's their go. And what's going to happen is they all get to attack us once, right? Horde, 1d4 plus... Okay, Overwhelm, passive. When a target this adversary attacks has other adversaries within very close range, this adversary deals double damage. So that's not the case at the moment. We've also got, so turn is moved over, and we've got a point of fear. We can't spend any fear on this, so this is just going to attack her. So attack roll, doesn't have advantage, so we head over, attack her. They get 10, which misses her evasion. So she manages, these zombies are falling towards her. She kind of leaps, falls back, whacks it out of the way with her staff, but we're going to use a point of fear to activate the Patchwork Hulk, which is a problem. And so that costs a point of strength and a hit point. When this adversary is within very close range of a corpse, they can incorporate it into themselves, clearing a point of hit. Okay, well, that's important to know. We've got 6 dead bodies laying around so far. Well, 6 kind of explodey, gory bodies, but we'll count it as six bodies. Wow. Okay, that's a lot of damage. It heads in to melee and attacks. And it definitely hits with a 23. And so it does damage. Roll 7. Okay, and 7 is higher than her minor threshold, so she takes 2 points of damage, but she spends a point of armor, which doesn't work. Spends a point of armor. Oh, for goodness sakes. Pen's selected again, isn't it? Okay, right. So, the armor slots goes down to 2. Right. Okay, so that's 2 of her armor slots, and are we tracking hit points on there? Stress and hope. No, we're not. Okay, so she takes 1 hit point worth of damage. Ouch. Her shield sparks. These arms come in, attack her from all ends, try and kind of pull her apart. But she manages to... It has difficulty kind of grabbing on, and she kind of flings it back. Now it's her go. That was emotional. She is going to burn a stress point, because it seems like the smart thing to do in this situation. She's going to do that, and then she's going to launch an attack against... The problem is, one thing I think it... No, okay. Yeah. What we're going to do is another Unleash Chaos, crackling of power, 21 with hope, perfect. Her hope is right up there now. So, I said it again. We're going to do 2d10 worth of damage against the big boy. And that's a beautiful roll. 9, 8, 17 points of damage. So against this huge monstrosity, 17 is 3 points of damage. Oh, it's got 10 hit points. It is a tough old bean. So it's taken 3 hit points. And she's going to fire her dual staff at the bad guys. Right? She's also going to channel raw power. Not channel raw power. She is going to use elementalist to infuse the action. 1 hope. So we burn a point of hope. Infuse action. Because we definitely want to hit. So she's going to fire off her staff at the zombies. Another hit. I think that's a hit, right? Yep, 10, free, perfect. Gets a hope back. Spends a hope. Spends a hope. Infuses damage. Use of a staff. Does the roll. 10 points. So, I said it again. 10 points against the zombies is 2. Kills another four zombies. Their ranks are greatly depleted now. And she got... Did she succeed with hope? She succeeded with hope, right? Again, going to burn a point of stress. We're going to add that stress here because, as we already know, it doesn't work when we add stress over here. Burn a point of stress. Get 2 more points of Unleash Chaos. Burn a point of hope. Get infuse action. Right. Fire. Spell. Come on. Roll. 17. That hits, and it's another hope. So this is one of the things which is interesting, and this is like kind of like she's really popping off, right? These monsters are like attempting to attack her, but she's just having none of it. She's really in the zone. She's going to protect this kid. She's going to protect her friend, and she's gonna deal with this problem right in front of her. She keeps on generating more hope. So we get back a point of hope, and we blast it. Roll. In fact, do we want to spend... No. Blast it. 7. That's not very good. Does 7 even breach its threshold? No. I think we're going to use volatile magic. Which means we can re-roll this damage. May as well re-roll both dice because the chances are that we will get more if we do. And should we just burn all our hope? Let's burn all our hope. Burn that hope. Get infused damage. And yeah, we're going to yoink. Hold on. Just close this a moment. Click on that. Plus 2 for the infused damage. Right. Exactly the same result, but with plus 2. So at least it does 2 points of damage. 1, 2. Okay, and that was all of her hope burnt. So she gets to go again because she rolled hope last. She rolled with hope last time. I don't think she's going to burn another point of stress. She is going to attempt to shoot the beastie with her staff. Roll. 5, 7, 14. So it's a hit. But she rolled with fear. So they're going to get to go. But she does do some more damage to this big old beast. 9 points. Good job, Sarla. You're really pouring out the damage now. 1, 2. What does this thing have that consumes stress? When this adversary takes major damage, they may mark an additional hit point. Oh, shit. We should have done an extra point of damage. When the adversary takes major or greater damage, they mark an additional hit point. So actually... Oh, fuck. Close that. Go away. It's actually on 8. Right? I think that's right. Major damage is 2. It's actually only got 1. Major or greater damage. Okay. Actually, is it dead? I think she might have killed it. Tormented screams. Marcus stress to cause all PCs within far range to make a presence reaction roll. Those who fail lose a hope and we gain a fear for each. Huh. It's another interesting example where the game auto-balances itself. Targets who succeed must mark a stress. I think it does still have 1 hit point, but it probably doesn't. We'll say it does for now. It is going to attack her again. It's not going to use that raw with thingy. 14, 16, that's a hit. D20 for damage. Roll. 8. Oh, she's getting lucky. So that's 2. Takes her into the major damage territory, but she's going to spend an armor point. Shield sparks again. She takes another point of damage. Kind of flung across the corridor. Kind of bounces off the door. So one zombie is still trying to break in through the. So she's kind of bounced off the elevator door, and this big old hulking beast is going to follow. She kind of pulls herself up to her feet, and she aims her staff and tries to fires again. Lightning kind of wells up and sparks out. See how that goes. Roll. Critical success. Roll. 6 damage. So it's only 1 hit point, but as we know, that's all we need now. But we mark down a point of stress. So we gain a point of hope. Is the hope tracker still working? No, hope tracker is still working. I think that's because I never used this for. I never used this to manage hope. So I think that's why it still works. Her stress goes down to 3. And this beastie is done for. Good job, Sarla. It kind of collapses and kind of goo pours out of it. She reckons she could recognize some of the faces attaching to this monstrosity. Doesn't feel too good about what's just gone down. And she will rush in. I think she dispatches these last 2 zombies effortlessly. She's not really having much of a problem with the zombies. She's exhausted. She's hurting. She checks Lisa, and Lisa's like, "What the hell? What was that?" And she and Sarla's like, "I've got no idea. Everything's crazy. I'm going to go check on my brother and my mum. Do you want to come?" And Lisa is like, looks around at kind of devastation, all these kind of smoking, smouldering masses of gore, and she's like, I think that's probably a good idea. How long have you been able to do this? And she's like, about 2 hours, says Sarla. She's like, whew, impressive for 2 hours. And Sarla's like, yes, certainly is, I guess. And they head up to her mum's room. And I think that's where we'll wrap up this session, because we're kind of up against it. Up against it. Well, no, let's kind of gets out a key, opens the door. And we managed to get up to the next floor without the next couple of floors without any problem. So on the 8th, looking for the 10th, got on the 10th floor, open it up. I guess the question then to the GM, right, is her family there? Now, her mum works. I guess kind of like her brother is her brother older or younger than her? Younger, right? But he could be skipping school, right? Or he could have already kind of run back home. As such, I think it's 50-50 as to whether or not the brother will be home, right? And I don't think there's any chance. So 22, yes, the brother has been skipping school and he's in the room and he's like got the TV on. He's looking stressed, but there's kind of nothing wrong. And they shut the door behind him. And Lisa is there with a baby. Baby's kind of exhausted from screaming and can't really scream anymore. And Sarla is like, she heard from Mum, and he's like, I haven't heard anything. I've been trying to get hold of you, get hold of Mum, get hold of anybody, and I can't get hold of anyone. Okay, it's good that you're still here. It's good that you're not dead. That's probably about the level of emotional investment you get from me if my kindred were still alive after this kind of event. I mean, you're still here. Yes, good job. Thank you very much. Encore. Let's say that her mum's a nurse at the local hospital. There you go. That'll be her next zone to go to. But locked the doors, barred them. They kind of... In fact, probably, let's be frank, the door probably already had junk in front of it. Brother had to move something out of the way. We move the junk back. Cool. Doors closed. We're going to get to rest for a few, 30 minutes. See if we've got anything for the baby. Sit down, chat to brother, watch some TV, have another beer. Definitely feel like a beer. Brother's probably got some gear, so we probably roll a spliff, have a little smoke. Right. Had a smoke, had a beer. Baby's kind of alive. Stressed out mother has a bit of a smoke. Cool. You're all a little bit high. Everything's fine. Everything's fine? No, it's not. There are monsters in the street eating people, and we've just been attacked by a giant flesh monster made out of what looked like some of our neighbours. True. Not great. Things aren't going very well. Still, that is a rest. As such, we don't need this open. As such, so we rest, we get to, what was it again? Short rest. We can do... Oh, right, the GM gains 1d4 fear when you have a short rest. Interesting. So, /R 1d4. Can you remember that? So, 2 fear. Again, this game... They need to sort this out. Right? They need to sort their integration out. There needs to be a tracker in here for fear. And the adversaries need to be able to go in a roll 20. At the very least. That's, for me, the bare minimum for this to be considered functioning. At the moment, it's just a bit of a nuisance. But I will say, I am digging Daggerheart. Even if I'm using it wrong. I'm digging it. So, 10 to wounds... She probably has to do that. So 1d4 plus tier, and her tier is 1. And then, what else are you going to do? Shh. Things are getting tight, right? I think 10 to wounds and... 10 to runes, and the repairing armor is 1 hit point per level, right? Repairing hit points is 1 per level, but there's a chance to recover 3 hit points. Well, her stress isn't too bad, right? So we'll do armor and hit points. Her stress isn't too bad in inverted commas. She's pretty stressed. Pretty damn stressed. So for health... Hit points, 1d4 plus 1. Of course it's 2, because it's always 2. Why would it ever not be 2? Why would we ever not roll the absolute minimum possible roll? Okay. Armor. I mean, it doesn't matter. The minimum we could roll is 2, so her armor goes back up to 3. Cool. At least with 3 stress, 1 hit point, full armor, regenerates the shield, and because there are a bunch of different problems to think about, right? So we're in this tower. There's that weird monster that we saw earlier, and we've got 2 points of fear, so that's going to come into activation pretty quickly. So we need to get, or at least Sarla needs to get back down through the building. And then she needs to get to a hospital. And then she needs to find her mum. And then they need to make a plan as to whatever's going to happen next. At some point, the realms will realign and the next phase of this world will continue. Oh, shit, and I forgot something. Don't worry about it. We'll notice it later. I should have kept a note. Dead things are supposed to drop crystals. And of course they are. It's, you know, you probably don't, but it's fine. I'll tell you one day. Anyway, with that, I think we will wrap up now. I'm digging Daggerheart. I hope you are too. Hence me uploading a video out of order. So, you know, it is what it is. You, my fine feathered friend, have a wonderful day or evening or whatever it is you're doing. If you're at work, skip some more emails. Don't go to that meeting. Have a nap. It's my advice to you. Otherwise, thank you very much. Have fun. Goodbye.